Horus and Chance, and this is what did the Traitor Primarchs do after the Horus Heresy? Warhammer 40k lore by the channel Major Kill. Yeah, this is an interesting topic. I mean, we know Horus Heresy. We know after that, you know, the Primarchs are, I guess, dead. But apparently, not the Traitor Primarchs, since this topic is... I always assume that all the Primarchs are dead. But apparently not, it's just Imperial one, right? Because Traitor ones are apparently alive. So what the where they've been, right? If that's the case, if you know, Imperium has no Primarch until recently, Guilliman, and the Traitor still has it, wouldn't that just automatically give them the edge? How the fuck the Imperium survive so long? I don't know. But yeah, Primarch are supposed to be able to bend the galaxy to their will. Chaos has 7 of them. Still, what? All 7 of them. I thought it would be like 1 or 2 or something. 7. They could have easily won. How are they not winning? But they still haven't won. So what have they been doing? Yeah, YouTube thinks this is World of Warcraft. Okay. Yeah, I like Major Kill. I've done a few videos on it. Well, the latest one I did was the Guilliman one. How Guilliman is basically the only competent Primarch there is. Basically, that's his superpower, his management skill, his discipline, him being competent. I guess that automatically makes him really powerful. But yeah, so let's watch it. Remember, we'll flag my Erickson. Don't forget to like, subscribe, so I know which type of videos to react to more. Check out the link in the description. There you'll find all my video and the playlist about Warhammer 40k. I've done quite a few reactions to Warhammer 40k, and yeah.
G'day guys and gal. Primarchs are the creme de la creme. Shrouded in destiny, these literal demigods are second only to their big shiny daddy. And Crocs. Everyone is second to Crocs. In their prime, each Primarch conquered thousands of worlds, their very existence causing strain on the fabric of time and space. The return of Guilliman has pulled the Imperium back from the jaws of total collapse and has made defeating Chaos once again an option, whilst the legacy of the long-dead Horus continues to plague mankind to this very day. So it begs the question, if Chaos was able to walk away from the Horus Heresy with 7 intact Primarchs and the Imperium lost like all of theirs soon after the Emperor cosplayed as Stephen Hawking, how the fuck hasn't Chaos won? Well, it turns out that joining a faction called Chaos isn't very good for your organizational skills. And if there's one thing I know, it's that to conquer the galaxy, you need to be organized. Guilliman hasn't pussy whipped the galaxy back into the Imperium's favor because he can punch really hard or, you know, destroy your brain from behind. He's done it because he has out of this world organizational skills. Yeah. So what is the Traitor Primarch's excuse? What have they been up to since the horror?
I like how this fantasy world of Warhammer doesn't let go of the realistic, you know, down the earth element. Like if you want to conquer, you basically your general or whoever is leading must have certain skills like discipline, organizing skill, right? If he doesn't have all that, I mean, it's you know, your tactics are going to be half done, everything's going to be half done. So basically Caesar, Napoleon, all of them had, you know, massive organizing skill, right? They knew how to organize things. They knew how to basically plan for shit. I like how Warhammer is also focusing on that. Guilliman is pretty strong because of that, right? That's just fucking awesome.
Horus Heresy. Today we'll go over what each of the Traitor Primarchs have been doing since Horus bit the bullet, before talking about where they are today. If we're feeling cheeky, we might even make some educated guesses as to what they'll do next. Let's get into it. We'll start off with Horus, because chronological order is overrated. Horus is special, not because he nearly killed the Emperor or, you know, lost all his hair despite the 30th
millennium
after having great anti-hair loss creams, but because out of all the Primarchs, only he was completely obliterated from existence. Whilst other Primarchs like Ferrus and Sanguinius did die, there is a sliver of their soul or presence still lurking about. Horus, on the other hand, got cum-dumped so hard that his soul has ceased to exist. So he's been doing literally nothing since the Wait a minute,
I remember that from Lutin video, right? Like, you know, other Primarchs are there still, you know, lingering soul here and there, right? But Horus is completely destroyed, right? Completely, like nothing of him exists. So basically Horus is done completely. There is no way in hell anything can be done about it. That's just fucked up.
Heresy. In saying that, he was cloned once. However, Primarch clones without Primarch souls are about as useful as a Velcro dildo. Hence, Abaddon was able to clap the clone of Horus like it was nothing. Now we have Fulgrim, who may as well have died considering how little he's done. By the end of the Horus Heresy, the Emperor's children and their Primarch were completely fucked in the head. They stopped attacking the Imperial Palace during the Siege of Terra and instead just rounded up scared civilians and then turned them into cocaine. I'm not even kidding, that's exactly what they did.
What?
Once the traitors had lost, they all pissed off to go do their own weird Emperor's children shit, such as Russian starfish orcs or masturbate with sandpaper. Before Fulgrim completely retreated, he baited Guilliman into a duel, which is a pretty fucking stupid thing of Guilliman to get baited into. Turns out a gigantic rape snake with 4 arms is more powerful than a Roman Aryan with a flaming sword, hence Guilliman was put into a 10,000-year coma. After this, Fulgrim retreated back to the Eye of Terror, and he created his own pleasure planet, which he rarely ever leaves because, you know, it's a pleasure planet. He did, however, leave it once to answer Rylanor's distress beacon on Isstvan III. Rylanor, as we know, is the best fucking dude around, and was able to be so honourable and noble that the 1,000 Sun Sorcerers that were with Fulgrim allowed Rylanor to blow up the planet, killing them just to inconvenience Fulgrim. Fulgrim's demonic body would recover from this, but his pride never would, hence he retreated back to his pleasure planet to suck on some demon titties. He remained there until the return of Guilliman, which caused Fulgrim to attempt to corrupt Guilliman to chaos, which, you know, obviously failed. Since then, Fulgrim has been spotted in real space for the first time in thousands of years, leading what remains of the Emperor's children to wreak some havoc. Someone who has been even more absent than Fulgrim is Perturabo. Purdy was the first traitor to abandon the—
So basically, after the Horus Heresy, everybody just was kind of like, oh, what the fuck, and just, you know, did their own shit. I mean, that doesn't surprise me much, right? First of all, they got corrupted by chaos, right? So they were much organized because of chaos. Or other way of thinking is that maybe chaos just didn't give a shit about them. Like, Horus Heresy failed, so chaos like, oh, they're useless, and just, I guess, you know, just didn't influence them at all and just let them go or something. He can just fuck off to his pleasure planet or whatever.
The Siege of Terra, even before it was clear the traitors had lost. He did this because he was doing all the work whilst his brothers were off railing the ashes of millions of people. However, he still wanted to show Rogel who was boss, hence he baited him into attacking an unbeatable fortress. Needless to say, Rogel got his ass whooped, and for his efforts, Perturabo was elevated to Demon Prince of Chaos Undivided, much to my and a lot of fans' dismay. They didn't have to make Purdy a Demon Prince, and it just doesn't suit his character, but whatever. As Purdy is a Prince of Chaos Undivided, he doesn't really have to do what the Chaos Gods want, only if they all agree on something, which pretty much never happens. So he hasn't had to go fight the Space Wolves or try give aids to Ultramar like his brothers have to. In saying that, he hasn't just been idle. In the Eye of Terror, Purdy engaged in a massive battle against Mortarion and dueled him non-stop for 7 hours. Eventually, Nurgle's pestilence and attrition began to overwhelm the Iron Warriors, hence Purdy was forced to retreat. Well, I guess those brothers kissed and made up or something, because they soon teamed up to create a computer virus, which was also a literal virus. This got uploaded to the Mechanicus' networks, and it caused numerous Forge worlds to fall, as their machines turned into demons and shit. Gotta keep your antivirus up to date there, Mars. How many times have
Oh, poor Mechanicus. I can still hear their theme song from the game. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck them up with a virus, like goddamn.
I told you about this. Purdy would play a reasonably passive role in Abaddon's Black Crusades, offering him advice and weapons, but not his own battle prowess. However, with the fall of Cadia, the big man himself is kicked into gear, sending out his Iron Warriors to siege some of the most heavily fortified worlds in the Imperium. For Purdy, if it ain't a challenge, it ain't worth doing. Now we have Lorger, the man who started the Horus Heresy, and the man who gained the least amount out of it. Lorger wasn't even present during the Siege of Terra because Horus beat the shit out of him when Lorger tried to stage a coup. Since then, he's done a lot of sulking. If you think Perturabo feels underappreciated, then boy, let me talk about Lorger. When the traitors had all fled to the Eye of Terror, something followed them. A dark mass of ravens, Vengeance Incarnate, Corvus Corax. See, the Raven Lord had figured out how to embrace his inner warp powers, hence he was able to turn himself into a demon, but like, not a chaos demon. As such, the Wordbearers had a really shitty time, with Mr. Raven slaughtering them like pigs. Lorger came to Corvus and was like, I have ascended to demonhood and unlocked my power. You are nothing compared to me. And Corvus was like, yeah, cool story, bitch boy. And then he proceeded to kick the ever-living shit out of Lorger, forcing him to run away. Now the lore says that Lorger has been in his tower meditating for 10,000 years.
Why? Somebody need to make some animated parody shit with that. He comes with evil looking with a skull and just like the photo. Yeah, I'm here. I'm Lorger. I'm the demon. Just kick the shit out of him. Like, man, fuck off.
But I reckon he's just been playing a fatal game of hide and seek with Corvus. Pussy. I hope he comes back into the lore for a bit to fight Guilliman, just for Corvus to arrive so the G-Man and the Raven Daddy can kick the shit out of him together. Would be a really wholesome brother bonding moment. Next up is Conrad. Over the course of the Horus Heresy and even the Great Crusade, Conrad's sanity had been slipping more and more. By the time Horus was dead, Conrad's brain was cooked as shit. He took his legion onto a world and made a palace out of living flesh. Bit grim derp in my opinion, like how the fuck would that even work, and oh man, the smell. Conrad sat in his flesh fortress for a bit until an assassin arrived to kill him. Now he easily could have killed the assassin, however he wanted to prove a point, so he let the assassin cut his head off. RIP Conrad, missed by literally nobody. There's a theory that one of the jewels he was wearing was actually a soul gem that his consciousness now resides in, but nothing has come of that as of yet. Now
but what the fuck? He wanted to prove a point. What? I can't be dead? Is that the point he was trying to... What the fuck? So he could have stopped him but didn't. First of all, he created an entire, a fort castle with a flesh, made of flesh. That's just fucked up. I guess he was just showing that I'm done here, right? Yeah, you can kill me, I don't care. That was the point? Damn. So even though 7 of the Primarchs are left, only some of them are competent. Others are just basically lost or something. I think, overall, I think it's, Chaos has a hand in this. Chaos doesn't want Imperium to be completely destroyed or something, right? Because Chaos feed on the emotions that there are, right? Like Khorne feeds on the war element, blood and skulls and things like that. While, Nurgle with pestilence and things. So obviously, they don't just want Imperium completely, bent to their will or destroy. They just want the struggle to go on or something.
Tyrion, who has been a busy little bee, buzz. Considering he's the champion of the big fat lazy ass god, Mortarion has been very active, leading countless wars within the Eye of Terror and real space against the other forces of Chaos and the Imperium. When the heresy ended, Mortarion fled to the Plague Planet and he recreated it in the vision of his home planet of Barbarous. He even put himself at the highest peak, just like his Lich King father did all those years ago, hence completing Mortarion's hypocrisy. Just like Fulgrim, Morty would get his own embarrassing encounter. After killing the Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights, none other than Cawdor motherfucking Drago kicked his ass. He carved the name onto his heart and then he banished him back into the warp. That's got a sting. Morty would go on to capture quite a few systems in real space and use them to launch the Plague Wars against Ultramar. This war was devastating and it looked like Morty could win, until Guilliman arrived and evened the odds. Morty would shit in his hand and throw it at Guilliman, whilst Guilliman responded by spraying multi-purpose cleaner on Morty before rubbing it in with a ShamWow. It truly was a battle for the gods. Eventually, Nurgle wanted Morty to retreat to defend the Nurglite worlds in real space from the other gods of chaos, but Morty wasn't super down with that. He wanted to kill Guilliman, hence he defied Nurgle and he injected G-Man with the God Blight, a virus that could kill a Primarch. Guilliman then died. But he survived! So the opening of the Great Rift had woken the Emperor up, because there was so much fucking warp juice everywhere now.
What? Okay, first of all, he injected him with something that could kill a Primarch, but somehow he survived. How? If it's supposed to kill the Primarch? Is Guilliman, touched by some power like, I don't know, God Emperor or something, that makes sure the Guilliman stays alive or something? What's happening there?
Hence the Emperor possessed Guilliman, kicked Morty's ass, then proceeded to kick Nurgle's ass, like Nurgle genuinely took some damage, and it seemed as if the forces of the Plague God are going to be benched for a decent while, especially since Morty has been a naughty boy and is now going to get quite the spanking from his green papa. Speaking of spanking, we now have Magnus, who
it's not just that you fuck things up, you made me look like a bitch, Nurgle's gonna say, and slap him.
The other Traitor Primarch who has been quite active in attempting to fuck over the Imperium. Key word here is attempting. When Lehman broke Magnus's back, and then Magnus was crudely teleported to safety, his soul was shattered. Hence in the years following the end of the Horus Heresy, he spent a lot of time putting himself back together. The issue is that the majority of his good and kind soul shards have been either destroyed or been made inaccessible by Magnus. hence all that remains of him is bitterness and power. Clearly not enough though, as he's invaded Fenris like 2 or 3 times now, and each time the Space Wolves were able to send him screaming back to hell. But Major Kill, he does a lot of damage to Fenris each time, and he stabbed out one of Lehman's hearts. Why does no one remember that? Timmy, you Magnus sympathizing cock junkie. Silence. Ruining Fenris is like nuking the Middle East. It's already a fucking shithole, so ruining it doesn't actually do anything. After multiple humiliations, Magnus decided he would try and kill Guilliman, before Guilliman could get to the Emperor. Well, lo and behold, Magnus was humiliated again and sent back to the warp. Again. He finally decided to embark on some more realistic goals, and has since retaken Prospero, his original homeworld, and even brought his planet of sorcerers into real space. Love him or hate him, you can't say Magnus hasn't given it a red hot go. Now onto the angry Angron. We give Angron a fair bit of shit on this channel, but to his credit, he has tried his best to do some stuff since the Horus Heresy ended. A lot more than Lorger and Fulgrim at least. His first act since the Heresy was to attack the Imperium with 50,000 Chaos Marines, and they actually did some damage. Over 200 years, they took over, which is, code for fucking raped, 70 sectors. However, the damage they did was temporary, and they were eventually driven back. Angron would then re-emerge and attack the world of Armageddon, only to have his sword broken and his ass drop-kicked back to hell.
He's actually doing
was
shit.
Almost re-summoned back to Armageddon recently after the fall of Cadia. However, with the help of some friendly salamanders, the Imperium was able to put a stop to that shit. Probably for the best. There are way more interesting Traitor Primarchs that deserve their time in the sun. And finally, what is Alfarius Amigan up to? Well, Alfarius, or maybe Amigan, died to Rogel Dawn during the Siege of Terra, leaving Alfarius, or maybe Amigan, to lead the scattered Alpha Legionnaires. I'm of the opinion that Amigan still lives and is subtly influencing the Alpha Legion to aid the Imperium, but considering we haven't actually seen him since the Heresy, it's hard to know for sure. I've dived into this topic a lot more in my Alpha Legion videos, because there's just so many breadcrumbs and theories to unpack, but for now, just remember, Amigan is currently doing something, or maybe it's Alfarius. With the recent spotlight on Magnus, Morty and Angron, it's time for them to get subbed out. I think the return of Lorger and Purdy would be really interesting, and open up the door for the next Loyalist Primarch to wake up from his slumber in the bowels of the rock. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be, where only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of hentai, and $5 per month give you access to the Major Kill sticker, which is about...
Yeah, so basically, even though there are Primarchs, some of them are really incompetent, some of them are good, one or two are actually doing something, right, overall. But I don't know, man. To me, it feels like Chaos has some hand with this, right? Because I get it, some of them are weaker, but some of them are really powerful, and I mean, Guilliman just woke up, right? I mean, considering 10,000 years, it took 10,000 years for him to wake up. So during that time, I mean, 7 Primarchs could have done something. But I think, Chaos is either they just don't care and they just kind of rejected them, like, oh, these are fucking useless, couldn't even get the job done or something, or they're actively not trying to destroy Imperium in just one blow or something, right? Creating another massive combat, right? Because Chaos Guard can basically do that, right, if they wanted to, but I think they're just not trying to destroy Imperium. Right, because no Primarch with Imperium, while there are 7 Primarchs, however weak they can be at one side and some of them being stronger, I'm pretty sure Chaos could have done something, but I don't know. But yeah, but this was an interesting topic. I never thought of that, but yeah, there are Traitor Primarchs apparently alive, 7 of them. Alright, this was by the channel Major Kill. If you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.